Nick Wright. He's a popular co-host of First Things First on Fox Sports 1, and he joins us on the program. Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Hey, how are you guys? I'm adding to my bucket list go on a buddy trip with Dan Patrick. I didn't even know that was available, but I'm adding it.
Okay, but would you go fly fishing?
I've never been fly fishing. Fishing is something that in my head I love, and then I'm like, I've done it once in 20 years as an adult. So how much do I actually love it? But I think I like it. I don't totally understand what fly fishing is. Seems like you're wading in water. I don't get it. This is probably not the best discussion point here. I've just seen it on movies.
Yeah, like A River Runs Through It with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Where they make
That's
it seem...
exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, they make it seem romantic, and it's really hard to do, but you do feel like you're actually fishing, like there's skill to it, instead of just, I'm going to throw a line out the water and then just wait for, the fish to take it.
I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, I feel like maybe in your younger days you were a big pay to go on a big excursion, you cast and then you go drink and then somebody reels it in and you take the picture.
No.
That was the dance.
No, never did that. No. I didn't want to do any deep sea fishing. I would just go in lakes and creeks and go fishing. But no, there was never, hey, can you put the worm on the hook, throw it out there, catch it, and then I'll reel it in and I get the photo op. No, I didn't do a victory lap like that. I was a working man.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I hope to do that one day. I think it's a sign of success. I haven't gotten there yet.
All right, what's the one topic this week where you're still going, I don't have answers to this and I want them?
Oh, what an interesting question. But it's similar to the last time we talked. Did Sean Payton bet someone years ago, I can win games with a tight end playing quarterback, and he is still trying to win that bet? That's the question I have. And listen, I understand the Taysom Hill fans took a victory lap after his performance against the Falcons, which was decent. And that victory lap, I hope they enjoyed it, because against the Broncos, you saw more of what I thought you were going to see. And I think the Falcons are going to beat them this week. I don't know if you looked at the point spread there. It's New Orleans by only 2.5, which means Vegas is daring you to bet the Saints.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not?
Yep.
Less than a field goal. Number one defensive football the last 5 weeks. And the reason you can't is because they got an H-back playing quarterback for him. And so I think they lose this week. And if Drew Brees isn't back by the time they play the Chiefs in 2 weeks, they have to go to Jameis. Because the only chance you're going to have in that game is if you can move the ball up and down the field and score some points.
Yeah, I'm with you on Atlanta. I thought that they would win one of these two matchups with them. It just feels like that's always been the rivalry. It's usually the team that's not supposed to win, actually wins on the road. But, here it is with Atlanta only, 2.5 points. And I wonder, does Sean Payton want to see Taysom Hill in a situation where he's down double-digit points? Not that you want to get there, but it would tell him an awful lot about Taysom Hill if he's down 2 touchdowns or 10. Hey, how does he – it's like Lamar Jackson. We want to see what happens when he gets into a situation like that.
I think it's a great point, and I think while the Saints, they're pursuing the 1 seed, they obviously think and should believe they can win the Super Bowl this year, so they'll take wins however they come. But I think part of going to Taysom over Jameis was to try to gather information for next season and for years moving forward. And so in that regard, what happened with them against the Broncos was almost useless. Like, you can't take anything away from that game other than even those of us that thought it was really hard playing quarterback in the NFL, it's evidently harder than we thought. Because the poor guy, Hinton, that was playing, I mean, he was an unbelievable high school player, a good college player, and he went out there and looked, honestly, not to be rude, but it was like a guy picked out of the stands. And so it just told us how much harder playing quarterback in this league is, even if we knew it. But you can't take anything away from that game if you're the Saints at all. So now maybe you can learn something in this Falcons.
Why is it that we look for a story? It may not be there, but like to me, Patrick Mahomes has been the MVP, at least for the last month. No question. But, Tom Brady was there. We kicked him to the curb. Russell Wilson, now the defense playing a little better. The offense not playing as well. It feels like it's a two-man race. We want to, bring in Roethlisberger, but I don't know. Is he most valuable player? Maybe not. But why is it where we keep going, we have tentacles. It's like an octopus. We got to bring in somebody here to make this interesting.
Well, it's an odd thing to say because this is only his third year as a starter, but it feels similar to me, like, and you'll remember this fondly, the Karl Malone MVP in 1997.
And Barkley.
Where it was. Well, and Barkley, I think, actually had a stronger case. Like in '97, I think the Bulls won 68 games. But it wasn't the 72 wins, and Malone had never won one. And so I think Mahomes has so clearly distinguished himself as the very best player in the league that it becomes a little boring to talk about. And in fairness, the first 5 weeks, Russell Wilson was better. First 5 weeks, Russell Wilson deserved to be there, and people got really caught up in he's never gotten an MVP vote, which I think misunderstood how the NFL MVP voting works. It's not a ballot, it's one name. So if you're voting for a guy, it means you think he should win it, and it's hard to find a year where Russell should have won it. But at this point, it would take, in my opinion, a Mahomes meltdown down the stretch, because as great as Rodgers has been, there is one game this season that you can say they lost because of his poor performance. That's never happened to Mahomes in his entire career, and I don't expect to happen this year.
We had Dan Orlovsky from the Mothership on earlier in the week, and he said Travis Kelce is
guy.
The most valuable non-quarterback in the league.
I don't agree with that. I think Aaron Donald should win that award. I think Aaron Donald – I think the Rams – if the Rams had Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, I think they'd be a Super Bowl favorite. I think they're crippled by their quarterback play, but Donald is such an unbelievable player. I don't know if Kelce is more valuable than Tyreek Hill. Now, Kelce has the opportunity. I think he's 70 yards short of leading the NFL in receiving. No tight end has ever led the NFL in receiving. So he has an opportunity to do that. His production over the last 5 years is just, it's unprecedented. But I do think you saw in, for example, the Bucs game, he started killing them once they started doubling Tyreek. Like, okay, we've got to worry about Tyreek, then everything's open for Kelce. I just think the Chiefs are in such a beneficial spot because he is clearly the best tight end in football. And while Tyreek Hill isn't the best receiver in football, I would argue, Dan, he's the best receiver to pair with Mahomes. Like, even if DeAndre Hopkins is a better receiver than Tyreek, Tyreek fits with Mahomes' skill set so well that you have those two guys and you can't double them both, and it allows them both to be the best versions of themselves.
He's Nick Wright, co-host, First Things First on Fox Sports 1. Let me shift it to basketball. And I know that there's always people in the media are going to spin it and look at the negative side of LeBron James. And I heard this. I think Skip Bayless even brought it up. Hey, you know what? He should have taken less money. You want to win championships. You want to be like
that
Jordan.
That makes me so mad.
But
it makes me so mad.
Okay, so should LeBron have taken? I said LeBron did take less. I mean, he's making less money than like 6 other guys. John Wall makes more than LeBron James. So should he have taken less?
Here's the problem, Dan. Let's say he did that. And I'm not naming names. You named Skip. I didn't see Skip say that. I'll take your word for it. Skip's a colleague, and I obviously have immense respect for him. But what I will say is this. If LeBron James had said, guys, I'm going to sign for the minimum, guess what? The exact same people criticizing him for taking the max would say he's trying to stack the deck by taking the minimum. This is, and you know that to be true.
Yeah.
If LeBron said, I'll take the minimum, and the Lakers went out and signed Giannis, then it would be, okay, LeBron is running from competition. Just like last year, it was, LeBron wants it too easy by adding Kawhi. Now he is supposed to make it too easy. Listen, LeBron James is the most underpaid athlete in American sports. I don't think that's really debatable. I know it's an odd thing to say, but it's true. And here's the problem for the contingent of people that dislike LeBron. They only have the 6 rings thing left, and in their heart of hearts, they know we've only got 2, maybe 3 years left to hit that one. Because the Lakers going to win again, and then they're at 5. And then if you think he's not going to peel at least one more, like Kareem did late in his career as a role player, you're nuts. So when LeBron finishes with the most points of all time, the third most assists of all time, 13 finals appearances, 6 rings, what's going to happen is folks are going to say, wait, this was a debate? And so, like, it's nice that LeBron has not taken over. Like, there was the story that came out, he tried to sign Luka to Team LeBron, but Nike kept Luka with Jordan. I think that was actually a really nice thing for Nike to do. That way, in 30 years, people know what Michael, they're like, oh, he didn't just have the shoes, he also played basketball. But because it's going to be, everything else is going to be LeBron's. All of it. Maybe even that statue outside the United States. It's all going to be.
Well, maybe you have LeBron guarding Jordan outside the United Center.
Oh, I like that. Do you think LeBron gets a statue at Staples if they win one more?
No.
Oh.
It's weird how people, and I said this yesterday or the day before, like, we don't want people to get into our scrapbooks. Like, don't ruin our scrapbook. Like, we love Kobe and we love Magic and Jerry West, and, the people are true Lakers. Like, LeBron, to people, I don't think they view him as a true Laker, even if he wins another title. And I don't. So
Jack got a statue.
Yeah, but I think they
Jack
viewed him as
didn't
more.
Start or finish.
I know. But he's beloved. LeBron is never going to be beloved. Shaq was beloved. Like, people love Shaq, and they respected Kobe, and they loved Magic, and they respected Kareem. I think they look at LeBron as, he's in town for a few years, and I don't know.
Can I ask you one other question,
Sure.
even though you're the one interviewing me?
Yeah.
So there's this speculation that LeBron matched up his contract length with when Bronny graduates high school, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's totally unfair, but we all discuss it anyway because LeBron has alluded to this. I think maybe Bronny can make the NBA one day, but talking about him as a high school to pro guy, if they change the rules, it's super high expectations. But let's say they change the rules, and let's say he is the 50th best prospect on your board. If it is clear, if you draft him, LeBron signs with you, does he become worth the number 1 overall pick? 3 years from now, it's a package deal. You have the number 1 pick. You would be taking the 50th best prospect, a fringe NBA 19-year-old. But LeBron comes with it.
No.
5th pick?
Not in 3 years.
Oh, in 3 years, because LeBron will at that point only be like the 3rd best player in the league.
I don't know if Bronny can play. Like, I don't know if he's able to play in the NBA.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I mean, he can definitely play.
Yeah,
but is he going to be a guy that can make the league, much less make the league right out of high school? Now we're talking about totally unfair expectations.
Yeah, because I got 3 more seasons of playoff basketball for LeBron. Nobody's had this wear and tear. Kareem, you had guys who played a long period of time, but nobody's had the wear and tear that LeBron has had on his body. And in 3 years, I don't know what he's going to be like. Even if I get his son, I don't want somebody, hey, come out and watch LeBron play, 18 minutes. I don't want to see that.
No, and I don't know if LeBron will ever play. Listen, I think he's going to be able to play until he's 40.
But would you rather have LeBron with his son or LeBron against his son? What's a better story?
I think LeBron against his son is better. I also would think it would maybe be better for his son.
I agree.
I think playing on the same team as him would be very, very, it's insane we're talking about this, but I think it'd be better against him. I think it'd be, and by the way, if we're talking about it, 5 years from now, and LeBron is playing 20 minutes a game and a little creaky, his son could have the Iverson on Jordan moment, except on dad. That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, but I can hear Skip Bayless. Yeah, Michael Jordan never used his sons to stay in the game.
Yeah, and then you can hear Nick Wright say, hey, listen, Michael's sons weren't good enough to make the league. I kid. I mean, and I don't kid. It's accurate. But I love Marcus. It just wasn't quite good enough.
All right. Have a good weekend. I don't think you created any negative headlines today.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I am awaiting the invitation for the guy trip since you've told Fritzy he's out. But I do drink. I smoke cheap cigars, and you can teach me to fly fish.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
See you later.
Thank you, bud. That's Nick Wright, co-host of Fox Sports First Things First.